Hey everybody, this is Noah here with Learn Meta-Analysis, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use the AI-assisted data extraction app or package for R, which I'm just going to call AIDE into the rest of this video. I'm going to show you how to use the AIDE package to use Ollama models locally on your computer to extract data from PDFs for systematic review and meta-analysis purposes. So before we get started, we need to make sure we actually have Ollama installed. So you just go to the Ollama website, they have a nice downloader to install it. So give me 1 second, I'm going to pull that up on my screen. So the first thing that we need to do is go to ollama.com and actually download this. And you can see that there's a nice big download here, a big download button, and this will download Ollama on your computer. The next thing that you need to do is pick a model to use. And this is relatively loaded, I guess you could say, because there's a lot of things that determine which model you should use. The primary one that I like to think about first is the context window size. And unfortunately, Ollama doesn't display the context window size right here in the descriptions. So there's a little bit of searching involved to be able to find models that are going to work well. But other things that you should consider are what the model is actually made for and how big the model actually is in terms of billions of parameters, which is displayed here. So you can see DeepSeek R1, for example, is offered from 1.5 billion all the way up to 671 billion parameters. Now, with these models, the parameter size is really important when you start to think about the actual hardware that you have on your computer. So local models generally work best and may even require you to have a dedicated graphics card or GPU, and they use what's called VRAM. I'm not going to get into all of the details of this because I feel like if you're somebody who's really into using local models, you probably already understand the big picture ideas here. But if you're just getting started with this, I recommend watching some videos about how to get started with using local models with Ollama because it'll have really good background information. So for me, I have what I would call a mid to low range graphics card. It was not intentionally purchased for running large language models. It was meant mostly for video editing and stuff. I have 8 gigabytes of VRAM. So for me, I find that if I'm just doing a chat, like a chat through OpenWebUI, I can use pretty good sized models. But if I'm wanting to actually extract data and use large context windows, then I have to use smaller models. So the one that I'm going to be showing you today is called Granite 3.1 Dense. So I'm going to click on this here so that you can see it. So Granite 3.1 Dense is offered in different sizes, 2 billion parameters or 8 billion. We're going to use the 2 billion here. And if you need to actually download this into Ollama, what you're going to do is copy this code here. This is the code to download it. And then you need to open your command line or however it is you interact with Ollama. I have a different video about how to do this, but I will show you in just 1 second when I get my command prompt open. Okay, so if I were downloading this for the first time, I would copy this code, I'd go into my command line, and I would just paste it in. And what that's going to do is it's going to install that model if it doesn't exist on your computer already. Now, I have this on my computer already, so what you're going to see is it basically just makes it prompt, and we're going to say, hi, what is the largest falcon in the world? And it's going to say the largest falcon is the gyrfalcon. You can see how quick that response was, right? It was wonderful. So now I'm just going to say bye to this model, and we're going to circle back to it because this is the one that we are going to use for our data extraction. So I have this, and I do want to say, I'm not showing this model because it's any better or any worse than any other model. It's just one model I know will run reasonably well on my computer and won't take 17 years to run for this demonstration. So we're going to use this model going forward. So I have Ollama, I have the model that I want to use. Now I'm going to go into the AIDE software. When I go here, I'm going to go to the setup page, and then I'm going to choose local models with Ollama. And I have noted here that this is still in beta, and this is very much true. I'm going to show you why here in a few minutes. So there's some general information here you may want to read, but for now, I'm just going to scroll down, and where we have select Ollama model, you can see all the different models that I have downloaded into this. And the same thing will happen on your computer. Once you download models, you'll be able to see them in the drop down automatically. So I'm going to choose Granite 3.1 Dense, which is what I just showed you. And I'm going to hit activate model and send test message. And you can see down here, it replied really quickly. Absolutely. Blah, 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 whatever else it said. So the model is working and the model is running. And we can see here it says our Ollama server is running. So we're in pretty good shape. So what I need to do next is I need to look at my coding form. And I'm going to show you guys the coding form I'm using for this. This is different than the other ones because it does take a while, and I didn't want this video to be, a long amount of time of you guys sitting watching it process things, because life's too short for that. No. So the only thing I'm going to ask it to do is list the authors of this paper in APA format. So I just have the one item for Ollama. And again, this isn't because this is all the model can handle. It's mostly because my computer can't run the model fast enough with a big enough context window to make an interesting video if I have more prompts in there. Because I found with this particular model and the paper that we're going to be using, it takes 1 to 2 full minutes to analyze the prompt in individual prompts. So if I had 10 prompts, that means it would take about 20 minutes to actually analyze, and that's not terribly efficient. So I'm going to click on coding form. It pops up on my other screen. I'm just going to select the file. It's going to prompt me to select where I want to save it, and I'm going to select that same file again. This is just popping up on my other monitor, which is why you guys couldn't see it. So now I'm going to go to Analyze, and I'm going to choose my PDF. I'm choosing the same paper that I used in the other demos. You can see it's uploading now into our PDF reader, and it's going to give us a context size estimate. So you can see it's a little bit smaller than what we had in our other videos. And this is because we have a smaller prompt, right? We only have 1 prompt instead of having 5 prompts like I had in the other videos. So our total tokens is a little bit less than 20,000. So what's really important is we need to set the context window. Now, as I mentioned, you need to know what the context window is of the model that you're using. I happen to know that Granite can handle a 32,000 parameter context window. So this is what I'm going to use. I'm just going to use a 32,000 token window, and that should be more than enough for this estimated 20,000 window that it's going to take. So whatever you set here, this is really important for 2 reasons. One, this does actually get used. So whatever you put here is what the code is going to use when it tells the model to run the command. Second, you absolutely have to make sure that your model can actually handle whatever context window you put here. Third, the context window size I found really influences a lot the amount of VRAM that's required on your computer. So I personally, as of this point, would probably set my context window just a bit higher than whatever the total number of tokens is, assuming that your model can handle it, just to make sure that everything goes smoothly and as quickly as possible on your computer. So let me go ahead and hit close with this set at 32,000. You can see it has our prompt over here automatically on the right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit Analyze. Now it's telling us it's processing prompt 1 of 1. If there were multiple prompts there, it would say 1 of whatever, maybe you have 50. It'll show you progress along the way so that you're not just like sitting there wondering, is this ever actually going to finish? But I will say that running local models for this process really depends on your computer hardware, the model size, and the context window size. All of those things influence one another and can greatly vary your experience using local models with Ollama. For this reason, I really only suggest using local models with Ollama if you are experienced using local models already and you have basically you know what to look for in a model and you know what to look for when you're setting your context window size and things like that. Okay, so it did reply, right? So we can see over here it replied, and that took maybe a minute and a half, and that's important. Right? That's really important to note that it took a minute or a minute and a half, because when we compare that to some of the APIs we used earlier, those APIs got us answers to all of our prompts in the same amount of time. So this is really an issue of my computer hardware is limiting how quickly this local model can process this data. So the reason this is still technically, I would say, in beta right now is because of how it responds. So you can see right now that it actually put prompt, it put answer, and it put page. And when we click on source, it's just not working, right? It's just not working yet. And sometimes the source button won't work with other models too, but I've gotten it to where it pretty much works if the LLM has actually replied. So here you can see that we do see our prompt again, and it did give us an answer. It gave us an answer right here. Unfortunately, it gave us an incorrect answer because when we look over here, we can see that there are some authors missing, right? We are missing Lopez and we are missing AIDE. So it did not capture all of the information. That's just a limitation of using some of these different models. And again, this isn't meant to say Granite can't do this or Granite can do this. I literally only chose Granite because it was a smaller model that I know could process this in an amount of time that would be interesting and useful for this video. So there are a lot of different local models available. Some work better than others for this type of task, and it's really a matter of experimentation. Basically you got to like local models, right? You have to like working with local large language models to be able to experiment with this, have the computer hardware necessary to run it. But if you're one of those people like me who just finds this kind of fun, then I hope that you find this tool useful. I am going to continue working on getting this to work correctly. All of the models reply in this format with prompt, answer, and page. The problem that I'm having right now is that essentially I use different commands in the code to extract this information and then make only the answer appear in this box and make only the source information appear in the source box and things like that. But all of the models reply differently, right? And so that's one of the challenges I'm having right now is some of them present it like this, where it has dash, page, colon. Other ones will put asterisks in front of it and behind it. Other ones might not have that at all. They'll just have page without those leading or ending terms. So I am working on getting this clarified. I don't know how much of a priority it's going to be going into the future, because honestly, I don't really expect too many people to be using local large language models for this task because it is so resource intensive, and not many of us have, $3,000 graphics cards in our computer that would enable us to run models with really large context sizes and things like that. So anyway, this video is mainly about showing you guys a proof of concept. This does work. If you are one of those people who has a wonderful GPU that can handle all this, I think you'll find that some of the open models available work phenomenally and work very well. I know that I have found some really good results using some of the models that are out there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all the information that I wanted to tell you guys about the local models with Ollama. Just like with any other way, when you use this software, if you click record, it's going to record it onto the coding form. So I'll go ahead and show you just to prove that this works. You can see it put the information there. When I close this, let's say you wanted to have just the answer. You wanted to go through and edit it. Then you can do that, click record, and it will update it on your form to just that information, as you can see here. So that said, I hope this software is really useful for you guys. I hope this walkthrough has been helpful for trying to understand how to use Ollama and how it's using Ollama. Hopefully, like I said, in the future, as large language models continue to progress and we get smaller, more powerful models with bigger context sizes, we will be able to run more models on, I would say, like more normal computer hardware, where we don't, for all of us out there who don't want to spend $3,000 on just a graphics card, I'm hoping that we're going to see some really good progress in the smaller models. And to be honest, so far, even in like the last 6 or 8 months, we've seen some wonderful new small models coming out. So I think this is on the horizon, and I built this in largely as future proofing for this application. So I hope you guys find this helpful. I'm really excited to start using this application in my own systematic review and meta-analysis workflows. If you have any questions about the app, or if you found this video helpful, please leave comments down below. Please like and subscribe to help support the channel. I really appreciate it. And like I said, if you have any questions or want to see any features added to the software, just give me a shout. Send me a message on YouTube, leave a comment to this video, or send a message through GitHub, although I think they only have issues. But if you do find issues with the application, please do leave a note on GitHub so that I can help address it. So that said, I'm going to stop rambling, but I'm really excited about this software. Thank you guys for your time, and I hope you have a great week.